to bring on Jen. She has a tendency to attract unavailable men, married guy, unavailable. How can she stop this? So let's bring her on. Hi, Jen.
Hi.
Hi, Jen.
How are you?
Excited to meet Bob.
Yeah. So, Jen, do you want to just let him know about kind of your past patterns a little bit?
Well, I've been single for 11 years. I'm 43. And since the 11 years, I've attracted unavailable, same thing, addictive, married, guys just looking for one thing. And I don't know how to break the pattern.
Okay, so how fast do you want to go tonight?
Full throttle.
Okay. Because the faster it is,
Awesome.
the more bumpy it is. So, okay, one thing about these men is they're safe, right?
Safe.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably more bad boy.
Well, actually, they're safe because there's a built-in thing that's going to happen with them that makes it where you can't commit to them.
Yes.
And so I'm saying this because this is how clever your brain and mine is. So when I used the example earlier of the woman that goes from one alcoholic to the next, she's not stupid. I've sat in groups in the hospital, and some of those women were so attractive and so nice and all that you would think they would just smile, but they would get one alcoholic after another. And I realized all that stuff I'd read in graduate school was true. I thought, oh my gosh, this stuff is real. And it's I'm generalizing. You tell me what part fits. We tend to do patterns because our brain is saying, there's something here you haven't resolved. And it's not necessarily like always some heart deep secret, whatever. It's either I'm not going to feel out of control or I'm going to try to resolve something through somebody else and all. And I'm assuming what all these guys have in common, I'm guessing, is some degree of either exciting, fun, wonderful, but they at least stir up emotions.
Yeah.
Maybe quickly.
I like excitement.
Excitement,
I don't
yeah.
like boring.
Yes.
Yes.
And this is how our brain does it. It says, you know what? I don't ever want to be trapped again. So if I'm a teenager, the way to make sure I'm not in a bad thing, I need to feel it right away because I do not want to waste time on something wrong. So that instant connection, that kind of stuff, that's a good indicator if he's a good, terrible indicator. But it doesn't feel like it. I mean, it's fun for all that's adrenaline based. It's really great stuff. Just like sugar is a wonderful thing to feel good short term. Just, but then there's always a crash with it, which means if you get in too quick, and you tell me, the tendency is now, how can I help it? How can I save it? How can I fix it? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So don't like bored, huh? Really
No, I enjoyed being married too. I liked stability.
Yes.
Just married the wrong person.
Okay. So, have you ever been on a date with anyone that was kind of boring?
Yeah.
Okay. And how quickly did he get written off?
I wouldn't go on a second.
Yes. Okay. So, again, if I say boring, it's not short, bald, and fat, or pick whatever three things that would terrify you. It's not that.
No.
But it is exciting. Is not the best indicator. Now, it doesn't mean let's marry someone that bores you to tears. It's not that. If your brain and mine, I'm guessing, thinks it's protecting you, this is a clever problem. It's not a stupid problem. It's not, I got a hard head or something. You're not saying this, but I hear this stuff. I'm just dumb. It's not that. It's really the back part of your brain, and it says, I'm going to make absolutely certain on the front end. It's a way of avoid being vulnerable. It's a way of taking a risk. And there's no escaping that, though. So if I know ahead of time, like if you had some guy in my office and you were dating him seriously, I would look at you and say, is this guy you want to hurt you? No, I don't want that. So he's going to. I said, now, hopefully not on purpose and not mean. I said, but he's going to, because you were married, that just happens at times in marriage, even the best of them. So what's it going to feel like if I had a magic wand and said, wow, I need you to give every guy 3 chances before you blow them off? I saw that. Can you put that in the word?
I would love to meet the right person. I mean,
Yeah.
11 years is a long time.
Yeah. So, can I push a little bit? Okay. I mean, of course, what are you going to say, right? We're on camera. So, um, meeting the right guy. But the other thing is, there's probably a number of guys that could be the right guy. And so if it's about meeting the right guy, the problem is now we're going to have pressure to narrow down and decide quickly and stuff. Some men you're going to know quickly. Some men take longer. And the reason I say is because I've seen this in office romances all the time. No one forced it. It's just some 6 months they work together and bam, it hits them. Sometimes, I mean, you'd ask the person right away, oh, this isn't the one. Again, no one talks themselves into it. So it's not that. Now, this is a different way of dating. This is different. And if I've been through trauma, the tendency is I want to date a certain way and get married a certain way. And if I get to know someone, I go, that doesn't work. Not because I say so. It's, dating for the quick thing is high school. He's cute. He's fun. Go to the prom with him. Awesome. I don't know about marrying him. Go to the prom. Have a blast.
You know, I feel like I need to get to know them first, like them.
Okay.
So if I go on like Match.com and I go on a blind date, they're the ones I write off real fast. But the people I know, I worked with, or I knew for a long time from the neighborhood, I give them more of a chance.
Okay. So if I had magic pixie dust and I could not make you, but somehow put you under a spell where you gave all men a chance, that would be more of an effort with some. But because, and let's do an analogy with it. So your heart is $1 million. You don't give it to anyone. But a lot of men, all they want is a chance to pitch. All they want is a chance to convince you. And I'm asking you to give more of a chance. That doesn't mean give me your $1 million. Gracious no. Because if it's your $1 million, you can listen to anyone's pitch. It doesn't mean they're getting it. I mean, in general, the answer is no unless I'm convinced. Some men may take longer, and you gave us a good clue there. There's some aspects where I do give men more of a chance. See, for women, that's what I'm asking women to do, not talk themselves into it. That's yuck. Not pretend you like something you hate. That's terrible. But it's his job to convince you. So with dating, you don't audition, he does. And if you don't audition and he does, some men are better at pitches than others. If we date go out with multiple men, part of what I'm after is that one, it keeps you getting too serious too quickly. And sometimes our heart takes longer. I mean, if I've got scar tissue, it's going to take me longer to see someone and fall in love, because I need to go through being a little bored at times and excited, and I need to see what he's like in different things. I mean, yes, if he's never exciting, that's a problem. I mean, the nice thing is you'll never end up with someone. Tell me what you're feeling when you hear me say this. Please?
Okay. What do I feel?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little kid saying please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is going to be vulnerable to do this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So vulnerable doesn't mean transparent. Okay, so it doesn't mean we just share everything. It's not that. Vulnerable is giving men a chance actually helps break up scar tissue. It's good for you also. Breaking up scar tissue at times is uncomfortable, but it's not sledgehammer stuff. It's not that. Just pound it. It's, if we had a little girl that was hurt and injured, at some point we have to tell her it's okay to take a chance. And that's not a one-time thing. I have to remind her. I'm the father. I say, yeah, it's okay. But I'm scared, nervous. I said, yeah, I don't blame you. I'm scared too. You can be scared and take a chance. I don't want to feel that again. See, the beauty is, as an adult, I can feel scared. That's not the same thing as being scared at 6. I can feel out of control, but that's not the same thing as out of control at 10. It may feel the same. It's not the same, though. That's how we heal from it, is that I can be scared and in control. The way for it to be stuck is I'm just not going to feel out of control. I'm just not going to be bored. And I can do with anything. And once someone starts, I'm not ever going to, I'm like, never. I've got men that do this. I'm never going to be bored. Never? I mean, you want a woman that's always on? You want a woman that always says yes to you, you'll be bored out of your mind if she always says yes. That's correct. You know, but they just don't want to be in a bad relationship. I go, you're going to create one with that. And so I wouldn't want that pressure on you or Marissa or any woman that, oh gosh, she's in a bad mood. Hey, he's in a bad mood. All right. I mean, because if you can't see him in a bad mood, then we're kind of fragile. I said a lot there. Tell me what you're thinking about anything.
I agree. I feel like there has to be balance. Like there's good, bad days, and I keep hearing myself say, I see the good in everyone. I don't know why I keep hearing that to tell you. So maybe I like avoid the red flags. I just see the good points of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why I'm scared.
So, actually, I love that quality. Let's don't change it. But that's a great quality. And if that's a gift, any gift, we have to have caution with it because people take advantage of it. Because they just assume she always sees the good. Yes, the part of seeing the good in someone is also seeing the areas that are scary or they have problems. It would be no good if my wife always saw the good in me and never pointed out if I was condescending. That actually wouldn't be good for me. It would give me the impression I don't need to work on that. And then children come along, oh, they'll tell you.
I feel like I see like the good and I'm forgiving, but I don't, like what Marissa was saying, like I don't see red flags that are there and I should. So I take too long to get rid of the bad ones.
So if you'll give yourself permission to see them, you'll start seeing them.
So I guess what you're saying, Jen, just to interject here a little bit, is with people that grew up with inconsistent parenting, where there was a parent that was nurturing one minute and then they had bad behavior the next minute.
Mm-hmm.
I think in relationships, it's like, oh, well, there's bad behavior, but that person's going to change into all good. They're not, going to be that inconsistent all the time. So it's hard for people, I think, with inconsistent childhoods to believe inconsistency in safety. And you keep seeing the bad behavior, but if you grew up with inconsistency, you know that at some point they're going to have good behavior. So it's like, do you accept both? You're like, oh, or do you just continue to be hopeful that one day that person's going to change their bad behavior? I think with people, is that kind of like, Jen, is that kind of making sense to you what I'm saying?
No, so my mom's like a holy roller.
Okay.
And she only sees the good in people where she'll ignore the bad. So I feel like I have a bad judge of character. So someone else could see like major red flags and warn me where I just see the good points of them. I don't see the red flags.
So did your mom do that in her marriage?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, they're still together. My dad did change, but
there was inconsistency there with him that she kind of.
So what you were saying was my parents, but with me, I don't see the red flags where I should.
You really don't see them? I don't know if I believe that. I think you're intuitive enough where you do.
Oh, maybe I do. I ignore them.
Yeah, there's two different things because I don't think you don't see them.
I might push them under the rug.
I think we all do. But Bob, it's like, where do we get to the point where we either believe that the angel's there or the devil's there? Like, where do you get to the point where you're like, okay, like, where do you get to that point?
Yes, I'm assuming, Jen, you've got a high pain tolerance.
Yes.
Yeah. Which, congratulations. Now, the downside is you have a high pain tolerance. And some of this is knowing as far as ahead of time what's out of balance for you. So Marissa and I were talking about this one time. So for me, someone cursing at me. Don't like it, didn't grow up with that, just out of bounds. And it doesn't mean I hate the person, but that's just whatever it takes. That's got to stop. Some people grew up in certain families, they're used to that. That for some reason doesn't bother them. I don't get that. But once that happens, yeah. Mm-hmm.
My dad's very old school. He's never cursed in front of women. Not to be gross, he's never even, they've been married 40 some years, never even passed gas in front of my mom. Like, I'm very, we don't hit, we don't curse. Like, there's certain things you don't do in front of women, and that's hard to find these days.
So what's out of bounds for you, though? Do you
Definitely
know?
cursing, and I would never tolerate anyone that would strike me.
Okay. So I'm going to give you that as a given, thank goodness. But when you say you might ignore red flags, what things in hindsight have you ignored?
Alcoholism,
Okay. So one way,
cheating,
say what?
player, like cheating and player.
Hmm. Okay. So that's more of a what's the fear if you don't ignore it? If you call it, take action.
Um,
If you,
I guess like that you'll lose them if you really like them.
Mhm. Okay. And so what do you think keeps you from committing too quick before you see these qualities in men?
Well, I haven't really had an opportunity to commit.
So, okay, let me make sure I'm on the same page. So at what point have they cheated on you? Like second date, first date?
No, I just seem to attract like players that, date multiple people, liars, oh, I fell asleep and then they're on Facebook tagged in at a bar with some other girl.
And with that attraction, I'm trying to think how to say this. How desperate is it to change that pattern?
Oh, I don't want to go down that road.
Okay.
I'm very desperate to change.
Okay. So I'm going to do something with you. This is for everyone. This is going to be a little vulnerable. Okay. So you said something. Yes. Okay. No. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You said something there that sounded kind of painful, but then you laughed. And that's not to make you self conscious, but a lot of times that's the way of numbing out. So if I say, my mom died yesterday, see, you don't get it. It's not that I got to cry. It's just, it's not funny. And that doesn't mean me telling someone what they're supposed to feel. It's not that, but that little quick thing, and a lot of folks do that. That's not uncommon, but I do that enough, I start numbing out. And then I give men the impression that I'm tougher than I am.
Yeah, oh
And
yeah, I always play the cool girl.
yeah, and the downside, there is such a thing, it's called overcompensating. And I just picked that one thing. I mean, again, a lot of us do this, and I'm not saying that's the worst thing, but it gives us a clue from if I numb out like that, doing it once is no big deal, but when it starts to be a habit, it starts to numb out, numb out, numb out. That's the way I end up tolerating. That's the way I end up ignoring stuff. It's because I numb out so I don't feel it. I see it, but it doesn't bother me a lot. I get that I shouldn't, but the feelings are missing. But see, the feelings are vulnerable, feel kind of scary. See, imagine if you said stuff where you couldn't laugh. Not again, not trying to make you paranoid, not trying to get rid of a sense of humor. And again, not telling you how to feel. It's just you see how that didn't match.
Yes, I felt like I didn't have the right because we weren't in a committed relationship to feel hurt, but I did.
I
You
like
know,
that. What if you have the right to all your feelings?
like that.
That would change stuff, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Men will feel the difference. Guys that are a waste of time will have no tolerance for it. Because I can't guilt you, can't shame you. What's wrong? It doesn't work. I'm pushing buttons on an elevator. Nothing's working. Why are you not groveling, complaining, acquiescing? Ugh. And they're very good at it because it works. A woman that's good at putting her heart first, you can't shame her. You can hurt her, but you can't. She won't own it. You might as well tell her she's a giraffe. It's strange, but she doesn't know what to do with it. She doesn't relate to it. I mean, again, you can hurt her. You have a right to all your feelings. It doesn't mean just if you feel something that just blasts somebody. It doesn't mean necessarily that what we feel, that their interpretation's right. But tell myself, I don't have the right to feel. This is not a fuss. I mean, this is encouragement. It would be like telling myself I don't have the right to be hungry because it's nighttime. My knee shouldn't hurt because I slept last night. I mean, it's silly if I apply it to those things. What if your feelings are actually trying to help you? Maybe you weren't taught or it wasn't modeled. Okay, parents do the best they can. So most of the time, even if they don't do a great job, they do. What's it like now? Let's talk about this.
A little sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, when you say that, that actually makes you a lot more real. When you say that. Because see, that fits.
But I still laugh.
No. I mean, you're going. That's not going away all at once. But the fact that you're aware of it changes it.
Yeah.
Once someone's aware of it, it becomes harder to do it. I mean, and I've done this with clients, and I say, look, you're going to fail. We're not keeping score. It's not like, did you do it 3 times? It's not that. I said, just be aware of it, and you'll start to catch yourself every time. And by doing that, it just keeps us from numbing out. And we're not trying to change everything. That's too much. It's a way of reconnecting your head and your heart, the way women are wired. I mean, women are supposed to flow head, heart. That's men, not so much, but women, yes. That's y'all's advantage. That's where your intuition comes from. But if I'm thinking or feeling, most women, by the time I see them, probably Marissa, are just thinking oriented because it's safer. And it kills them in relationships. And it's not for lack of trying.
And I think I overthink too. So that kills things.
Yeah, and because you are the spark. He's the fire, but you are the spark. Your weirdness, your sadness, your laughter, all of that stuff. Men are not fragile. I understand you've been given terrible advice that men are fragile. Men are not fragile. Same as for emphasis. Men are not fragile. I don't care if they tell you they're fragile. I mean, we all have bad days. Men are not fragile. A woman is dangerous. She's emotional. She's wonderful. She heals. She hurts. Everything. All that kind of stuff. And it's no fun not having her in your life. And there's no comparison to a woman getting a pet dog. I don't care what guys say. They don't want that. But it starts with you. All those feelings that you keep in check are the treasure. It may not feel like it, but it makes you more real, makes you 3-dimensional. And guys that are wasted time will have no tolerance for it. I tell folks a lot, my wife, alcoholics hate her. She finds their antics amusing. They just couldn't, they just hate her. I don't even think they get past one date. She finds it childish. That's just not her button. It's just, I feel sorry for the guys. At least I did. You don't necessarily have to do it like that. But if you have the right for all your feelings, doesn't mean you always know how to interpret them. They will protect you. They'll let you know. And the more you start practicing with them, the more it becomes almost like a magical guide.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was awesome, Bob. Thank you.
Right. Thank Jen. I appreciate
Jen,
you being honest to be vulnerable.
I know, and it's interesting because I was kind of observing, and I saw a change in your energy when you became vulnerable and open. Like it was almost like this beauty in you came out, and this gorgeous light. It's weird. I'm sure that people saw it. Like I saw it. Like
I felt like a freeing.
Look at Eric. Eric, yeah, see, he's agreeing.
Yeah, 100%.
Eric, did you see the change?
When you first started talking, you were this very tough, protected person on this screen here, and then as you opened up, you became like this warm, like sweet, totally open, different person than when you first started. It was really cool to watch.
No, I felt something when he said, "Feel free to feel your feelings." Like I felt like a release. It was weird.
Yeah, and so for me and Jen, I'm a lot like Jen. I feel like almost like weak if I allow that part of me out. Like that's the part of me that can get hurt. So it's like you almost feel like a weirdo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
that's the cancer.
But I saw like this beauty come out.
But notice for Jen, I'll bet Jen probably didn't feel the way they're describing. No.
It felt scary a little.
Yes. And see, that's the paradox, is that on the inside, it feels vulnerable, scary over here. But Eric's got a great point. But that's not the way it looks. To the man, it looks like, oh my gosh. But it doesn't feel that. So those women are like, I need to be confident and strong, all that. I mean, that's great at times. I mean, I can talk to Eric if I want confident, strong, all that. I mean, let's go have a beer. I mean, I'm not saying there's not a place for that, but it's just, I got buddies like to do that stuff with. I mean, we don't want to want falls apart all the time, but what you just did, that's what we can't go to Walmart to buy. That's why we don't mind paying for dinner. That's why we don't mind that stuff. We can work to make more money, but we can't get that. That's the prize, is what you did.
Yeah, I brought Britt back on too. I don't even know if she's still there. I wanted her left out backstage.
Jen, can I just tell you that when you first started, you were the girl at the bar that could give or take me standing next to you and probably not care at all. And towards the end of this conversation, you're the kind of person that someone would want to spend until 6 a.m. in a diner talking to. There were two different people on this call, 100%.
I can't wait to watch the replay.
Yeah, well, there you are.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you picking me to come on tonight.
Well, you put yourself out there, right? You were brave. There's not a lot of people that were brave enough to do what you did.
No, and I was so nervous. I was even talking to Kelly through text. I'm like, I'm so nervous. I don't know if I can do this. Thank you.
You did
so
it.
much.
Do you feel better now that you did it?
Yes, I'm so happy. And I feel like such a release. I don't know how to explain it. Like a freedom.
It's because you're not holding your breath all the time.
Yeah.
So this is what you normally are. What you're used to.
Look at how happy she is.
Look at that smile. That wasn't around an hour ago.
See,
I know it wasn't.
It'll come out on its own. It just has to have permission. Just like with a child, you want a child to open up, and the first thing they'll do is they're scared or mad. If we shut that down and say, no, be happy, they won't open up. But if it's okay to be scared, they'll do that first before they start opening up the rest. But it's got to be, I love you regardless of what you feel. Not just when you're happy and fun.
Right.
Because
that's what you did.
We saw the magic. We saw the magic wand. We actually felt it. Like I felt you coming to life. Like you just were like, not to I'm just being honest, but you were more lifeless at first. And then this sparkly energy and cool vibe just was like, whoa, that's beautiful. What just happened?
Yeah. And I felt like he hit the nail on the head. I felt like I always had to be the cool girl and just go with the flow and accommodate instead of owning my feelings.
Well, you did such a great job tonight, Jen, and I hope this helps you moving forward. And we were only supposed to do an hour, but we're here an hour and a half. So I appreciate everybody's time. And Bob, thank you so much. Eric and Britt. I don't know if Britt's still there. Let's see if she's still there. Britt, are you still there?
Hey guys, great job, Jen.
Yeah. Any words that you want to say, Britt?
I don't have anything in closing.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on. You did a wonderful, brave job. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Well, thanks everybody for being here. Thanks everybody in the chat room, and also just bringing up Bob's information. Bob and his books, relationshipheadquarters.com. And is there anything you would like to say to our audience, Bob?
I appreciate you having me, and ladies, I appreciate you being willing to be vulnerable. That is 60% of it. That's a big part, just the willingness to take a look inside and listen and consider. Because notice we didn't change who you were. We just cleared out some stuff so it could come out.
Wow, people have a lot to say today.
Yep.
Good job. Everybody's kind of thanking you, Bob, for being here. Everybody's happy. This is great.
Bob, you rock star.
Thanks, Lisa, for this awesome comment. Bob, you are a rock star.
100%.
And I mean, your books, your ebooks, if people want this information, it's in your ebooks, right? I mean, it's there. And I'm sure your ebooks are affordable to everybody. So you guys, there's no reason why you can't go on Relationship Headquarters and get Bob's books. There's really no reason for it. You need to just do it because you could get it instantly, right? You don't have to wait for it to come in the mail. It's an ebook. What would you say for somebody first starting out reading your material? What's the best first book to get?
The Woman Men Adore.
And what's the rest of that title?
That men never want to leave.
See, the N word. Oh my God. That's a strong word.
Hmm?
They don't ever want to
Let me
leave.
ask Eric. Eric is, every guy knows that woman. Every guy, usually men say there's something about her. It's different for each guy, but every guy knows if I say that, there's a memory that pops up. They'll go, oh yeah. And they don't always say she was the tallest or the blondest, or they don't always do that, but they just take a deep breath or something, whether it's high school, college, or whatever. That's what this program's about, is what that woman has. And it's not so much becoming someone else. It's more about it's inside of you. And that was a good example, Jen, that it was in her. We didn't change anything. It was there. And so
I know.
it's much easier
Magic.
than trying to make something on top of it.
Oh my God, look at Jen. She's smiling. I've done readings for Jen for a long time, and every time she came in, she did not smile.
I usually cried.
I could not get her to smile. And Bob, look, Lisa said, you're good. I couldn't get her to smile. You got her to smile. You got her to look at this beautiful smile. It's amazing.
That's because you've been prepping her. I appreciate it.
I did not.
She didn't.
No, I meant
No.
all this time. I meant like accumulation. So
No, I haven't talked to Jen in years. Brittany I talk to all the time.
There's nothing more attractive than someone that is just open and fluid in conversation and thought. You could be like a knockout model, but if you're hollow, it's not attractive. But if you are open and fluid and you have lots to share, verbally, emotionally, that is the most attractive thing to any guy. I don't care. Well, maybe if you ask a 15-year-old, they'll say differently, but a grown man, I'm telling you, that is the most attractive thing in the world.
Jen's like, I feel weird right now.
No, I'm just so like taking everything
Taking it in.
It was a great night. I'm so glad I got picked. Thank you.
See, because you were scared and you pushed through it anyway, just like Bob was talking about how we tell our kids, we know you're scared, but push through it, take the risk. And you were scared and you pushed through it and took the risk. And look what you got. A lot of benefit. So we hope you take that into your next choice with a man. And we hope
Hopefully I'll be telling you soon I met someone.
yeah, you'll be showing the sparkler. That's what I
Yeah.
want to see. All right, guys. Well, thanks everyone for being here. And remember to visit Relationship Headquarters for Bob and his books, and subscribe
Check
to his
out
YouTube
Bob's books.
channel. Check out Bob's books.
Checking out Bob's books.
Me too.
Everybody wants Bob books.
Page.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Do you want to know what's really weird about how I ran into Bob Grant again in life? Because I talked to him 7 years ago when he was on the show. He thought that I was a different Marissa and actually emailed me like about a project, like a graphic project. No, not no.
yeah,
That
with
sounds
graphic
weird.
design.
Graphic design. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not the designer. I'm the medium. And he's like, oh, we have to catch up. I believe nothing's coincidence. He's here for a reason. And Bob showed back up right at the right time. We just started the show 4 weeks ago, and you were at the beginning of 2 a Day Radio, so you knew when it was time, Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we hope to see you again at some point. All right, guys. Everybody's saying way to go. Great job. Everybody did a wonderful job. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for having me, guys. I
All right.
appreciate it.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye.